These new devices are really expensive. Is it worth the price to upgrade from maybe like a 7 to the 10S X, whatever they're called now?
So a 7 to the 10S. This happens all the time. Everybody wants to know, which device should I get?
This came up from a question from our user group. Chris Carson posted talking about how much he likes the 10S Max for the camera on there. And I was also saying, hey, I love my 10S.
Looks good.
Another one of our users, Kevin, with WeStream, was asking, can you do a comparison? So we were kind of thinking, yeah, how much better would it be?
How much better is your 10S compared to like what a lot of people still have out there, which is like a 6S Plus?
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is we have a pile of old iPhones
and iPads.
Like,
this is
of all varying. There's even more charging that you guys can't see.
Yeah, they're over there, and some of them I don't even think they're gonna turn on. That's how old they are. So
I think the plan is to do side by side, compare as many of these, and see how much better the video is.
Let's just do it. Hypothesis. Sticking to video. Which one?
So I think
what's gonna happen?
I think the big difference is gonna be jumping from the 6S and then up.
Let's just see if 1280 by 720 looks better on a 10S than it does on like the 6S.
What are your thoughts?
I think the 10S is gonna look better, but I don't think it's gonna look that much better.
Yeah.
When it comes to doing a switcher production, I wonder. I really do. I'm not sure what's gonna happen.
Okay, so I think where we're at.
Yeah.
You're saying there's not going to be much of a difference. I'm saying the recording is going to be quite significantly better on the 10S.
Okay.
Is that what we're getting at?
I'm at like it'll be a little bit better, marginally better, and you think it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay. Jared, what's your opinion? What do you think is going to happen? What do you believe is going to happen?
I agree with Dan. I think the newer phones are going to have better looking video.
Like way better.
I think so. Yeah, I think it'll be significant. I know it's weird. It's barred at 720. I feel like it should all be the same, but things just don't work out like that in practice. I don't know.
Maybe the inside, we might not see that much of a difference, but when we go outside and you can get that depth of field, I bet you that's when we're going to see a huge difference between the older and newer cameras. Yeah, so my thought is...
How should we set this up?
Should we just do one at a time?
So I want to make sure we give you all the information so you know what we're doing. So I'm going to the back of every device and I'm getting the true model number and everything.
All right, the 5C is A1456. That's older than the 5S, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. 5C. Well, the 5C comes between the 5 and the 5S in this list from Apple. Yeah, so there it is. So if you don't already know how to get the version number of your phone, like Apple's identifier for your device, you just need to grab and look on the back of it. It's written right in here. Unless you've got a 10S when all it says on the back is iPhone. How do you find it? Well, here's how you do it. You just go into your settings and you go under, was it General?
General?
Go to General.
About?
And then you go to the About. And then
you're going to see the model right here.
Model number there. It does not say what we want, but if you just tap on it, it'll give you the correct information. All right, so we just kind of made an executive decision. We've got a bunch of iPads as well, but really we're just going to try to make this about the phones, and we'll do like an iPad video some other time. But so yeah, this is just going to be about phones. Okay, so we've officially got our device list here, and from left to right, we've got an iPhone 5, then we've got a 5C, my 5S, which has been through a lot, a 6S, this is Dan's old phone, we have a 6S Plus, then we've got a 7, and then we've got a 7 Plus, followed lastly by an iPhone XS. So let's just compare all the cameras on these as far as video is concerned, and let's just see which one we think looks best.
To get similar results on all of them, in Switcher Studio we have director mode. So we'll have a recording at 1280 by 720, which is what it would look like if you were streaming on Facebook. But we'll also have the composition which we're going to put to the maximum setting. We have the composition format is 4K. We're just going to keep the bitrate standard, 30 frames per second. And then down here, we're also going to have the live output, and that's going to be 1280 by 720.
Now we're like setting up for the shot where we've got all of them.
Got it. So let me launch switcher on everything. Switcher.
We got all these devices. All of them are connected into Switcher Studio. We've got 8 cameras going. All at once. All right, so now Dan and I came on outside, and we're just gonna do the same test that we did inside, and we're just gonna shoot down the street basically. And we're gonna do a test with each of the different devices, and we're gonna see which one looks the best. There's the 10S on top here, and we're just gonna compare them by putting another device right here. And then we're gonna use, what do you got there, Dan?
The same iPad we're using, our trusty iOgrapher case. So yeah, we'll be able to do the same test. We've got our Google Puck running off of a battery here, so we can connect with our local network.
It's a really big. That's a really big bag just for a Google Puck, just right here.
The first one.
Oh, look, Nick's here.
Hey.
So I'm over here editing it now, trying to sort out how everything looks. So we're kind of looking at the footage, which you're going to be seeing too. My prediction was it's not going to be that much better, but
How's it look, Jimmy?
the 10S looks so much better than every other device. Like the 7 looks pretty good. The 7 Plus looks pretty good. But when you compare it to the 10S, it's like insane.
So I think it's very clear that as far as the raw recordings, the new ones are significantly better.
Oh yeah.
For a lot of our viewers who are doing live streaming, they're more concerned about how that camera's going to look when it's live because it's just an extra camera.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think we still need to look at that and see those 720p if you can see that big of a difference between the two cameras.
That's a good point.
Yes,
so what does the live look like? So I'm just gonna find something. That's a 5C though. I mean, that's really old.
But look at the difference.
So let's look at the side by side between a 10S and a 5C on a live.
So you can kind of see how that looks.
You can see there's more blockiness. You can kind of get that grainy in there.
5C is not working as well. Here, let's just look at an iPhone 10S versus iPhone 7 in a live recording, 1280.
So this is how it would look if you were live on Facebook.
Here's the color.
Graphics look sharp.
Oh, I like the
And
color.
now we'll go to an iPhone 7 is what we're using here.
It's just darker and
it's
more.
a little darker and grainy. I mean, of course, we can fix that with the exposure and stuff.
Yeah, it's
but
like it's got a different type of contrast. It's like natively the 10S has better dynamic range. I was wrong. It is so much. It looks way better. Okay, you've seen the footage. I've seen the footage. I was totally wrong.
What I thought was interesting is when we're using Switcher, you could see a little bit of the difference, but then when we actually brought that, like the recorded video into the editor,
Yeah,
it's a huge difference.
the 10S looks really, really good.
These new things are amazing. I'm sure the 10S Max is just as good.
Yeah, absolutely.
The specs on the 10R.
Yeah, the 10R looks like it has the same front camera. So like if you get a 10R, it's also going to have this, I'm assuming all have pretty much the same spec on them. So I think all those devices are they've definitely leveled up the quality of those images.
The other cameras look great. Like they look really good.
Yeah, I
it's
think they
just
still look fine.
insane how much better these new iPhones are.
And if you're streaming anyway, like if you're using mobile devices to do streaming, sometimes you're really going to have to lower your resolution just so you can keep up with whatever sort of connection you have too. So that's something to take into consideration. 4K isn't like what you're going to use for streaming most of the time, so maybe it's not necessary. Like the quality of the image, even at the 720 version that's being transmitted, is really good.
The differences were much less noticeable on the live.
Yeah.
It's still there, but not nearly as crazy as the recorded.
I don't think everybody needs to go out and replace all of their phones, but the 10S is definitely a major improvement over some previous devices. So if you're thinking about upgrading, maybe not a bad idea with the 10S. It's definitely not worse, that's for sure.
All right, so one final thing. Yes, these devices are much better. The 10S, the 10S Max, the 10R are going to have these amazing, awesome cameras, but not everyone might have the budget for these new devices. So is there anything someone could do to get the most out of maybe the iPhone 6 or 6S or 7 that they have?
I think if you want better video, you absolutely need to light your scene better, put your camera on a tripod.
Yeah.
It'll make everything stable, so that'll definitely work. You can get those like clip-on lenses, so like maybe if the device you have doesn't really have a really wide field of view, just get one of those lenses that you can put on your device and it'll widen out your shot. Maybe it can help you work in a smaller space if you need to. So that'd be my advice for just improving.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.